It is now my pleasure to present the recipients of Sleep Research Society's 2021 awards. We're starting with a new SRS award, the Public Service Award. This award recognizes significant and extraordinary contributions to the mission of SRS above and beyond research and educational activities. The inaugural recipient is James Walsh. For more than 35 years, Dr. Walsh has been recognized as a leader in sleep medicine and sleep research, authoring more than 250 professional manuscripts and lecturing nationally and internationally. In 1981, he started the first sleep center in Missouri at Deaconess Hospital in St. Louis. And in 1993, he founded the Sleep Medicine and Research Center at St. Luke's Hospital. Among many positions in scientific organizations, Dr. Walsh served as president of the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, president of the Sleep Research Society, and on the Sleep Disorders Research Advisory Board of the National Institutes of Health. Congratulations, Dr. Walsh.
Good evening. Thank you to the Sleep Research Society and especially the Board of Directors for recognizing me with this award. Service and advocacy activities were some of the most rewarding throughout my career. And I want to acknowledge two individuals with whom I worked very closely for many years on these efforts. First, of course, is the late Bill Dement. It was Bill's passion to spread sleep science, sleep knowledge throughout our society that inspired me to join him in these advocacy efforts. The second individual I want to recognize is Dale Dirks of the Health and Medicine Council of Washington. Dale provided me and many, many others with expertise and guidance in navigating federal agencies, which was tremendously helpful. And Dale's been involved in virtually all sleep advocacy efforts for more than 30 years now. So thanks to Dale. Finally, I would just like to encourage all sleep scientists and clinicians to be involved in our professional societies and to help educate policymakers and industry leaders about the latest findings of sleep and circadian science. So thank you again for this award. Have a good meeting.
The Mary Carskadon Outstanding Educator Award honors excellence in education related to sleep and circadian research. This year's recipient is Girardin Jean-Louis. Dr. Jean-Louis is a professor of population health and psychiatry at NYU Langone Health. He is the director of the PRIDE Institute on Behavioral Medicine and Sleep Disorders Research and the Translational Sleep and Circadian Sciences Program. Dr. Jean-Louis' research focuses on the application of agile behavioral models to enhance treatment adherence to reduce risk of cardiovascular disease and brain injury. His goal is to address the many barriers hindering adoption of healthful sleep practices in vulnerable communities. He has been involved in several important NIH-funded studies, which have led to nearly 400 publications, primarily in sleep deficiency and cardiometabolic diseases, circadian science, aging, and health equity. Congratulations, Dr. Jean-Louis.
I am humbled and honored to receive the 2021 Mary Carskadon Outstanding Educator Award. I accept this award on behalf of all the students and fellows whom I have had the privilege to train and mentor over the last 20 years at all levels of academic medicine and across the spectrum of health professions, sex, genders, and race ethnicities. I thank my colleagues from the Sleep Research Society who nominated me for this prestigious award. I'm proud to be a member of a society that has done a phenomenal job training the next generation of sleep and circadian scientists who are tackling the most vexing sleep and circadian disorders our society faces. I am equally proud of its new initiative to diversify the sleep academic workforce. This is in line with my own effort over the last 15 years. This includes implementing educational and training programs to improve sleep health in vulnerable communities and to increase academic workforce diversity. One of the most notable programs I've had the privilege to lead, is the Pride Summer Institute. Pride mentors UIM faculty in an environment of inclusive excellence to foster successful careers in health equity research. We have trained 175 scholars, all of whom are established educators, clinicians, and researchers in their respective fields. Despite the success Pride has enjoyed, there are miles to go before it accomplishes all of its goals. We will continue to work tirelessly to reduce the racial ethnic gap in NIH funding, which delays the achievement of the mandate to improve health equity in all American communities. Training programs like Pride are urgently needed, particularly when UIM faculty are at an important crossroad when they're questioning structural racism that impedes their academic growth. Lastly, I want to thank the Pride mentorship team, educators, and administrators who have been intentional about supporting UIM faculty in all aspects of academic life. I thank my family for their unwavering support and love, which keep me grounded in the pursuit of social justice. I also want to thank my parents, both educators, who have inspired me to pursue higher learning and to become the best educator I can be. Thank you.
Next is the Outstanding Scientific Achievement Award, which recognizes novel and seminal discoveries of a basic, clinical, or theoretical nature that have made a significant impact on the sleep field. This year's recipient is Colin Sullivan. What was once an experiment for Dr. Sullivan became the gold standard for treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. As the inventor of nasal CPAP, he transformed the treatment of OSA, making it non-invasive, accessible, and portable. Dr. Sullivan's other major scientific achievements include the characterization of the pathophysiology of adult sleep apnea, the development of non-invasive ventilation during sleep to manage respiratory failure, the recognition of the extent of upper airway obstruction in infantile apnea, the development of human fetal monitoring technology, and the discovery of the mechanism of sleep-induced worsening of blood pressure in preeclampsia. Dr. Sullivan's contributions to the field have changed the course of treatment of the most common form of sleep-disordered breathing. Congratulations, Dr. Sullivan.
I am greatly honored by this award from the Sleep Research Society. While I originally began my research career on the control of breathing and then trained as a pulmonologist, I was drawn into the world of sleep when introduced in the early 1970s to the problem of sudden infant death and to the puzzle of unexpected death in sleep. I was introduced to the SRS by one of its early founders, Dennis McGinty, who spent a sabbatical year with us in Sydney in 1979. Despite the great distance, I have come to many of the annual meetings and marvel at the extraordinary growth of knowledge about sleep by members of the sleep research community. I am very lucky to have been able to contribute to our knowledge in sleep and breathing. This year is the 40th anniversary of my publication on nasal CPAP in The Lancet, which was published April 1981. While this began as an experiment, it took some years before its acceptance as a clinical therapy, with most clinicians in those early days being very highly skeptical that the patients would use it. It is indeed remarkable that it has become the frontline therapy and many millions of patients use it every night to enable them to breathe and to sleep. One aspect of nasal CPAP that is ubiquitous in the now vast literature unravelling the pathophysiology of sleep and breathing is its use as an experimental apparatus by reversing sleep apnea and enabling test and control experiments in the individual patients, so providing a highly productive clinical research method which continues to be used extensively today. I cherish the recognition by the SRS through this award and thank those who nominated me. I hope to be able to attend future meetings in person.
Finally, we present the Sleep Research Society's highest honor, the Distinguished Scientist Award. It recognizes significant, original, and sustained scientific contributions to the field and circadian research field made over an entire career. I'm honored to present this award to Allison Harvey. Dr. Harvey is a professor and licensed clinical psychologist in the Department of Psychology at the University of California, Berkeley. Dr. Harvey has practiced as a cognitive behavioral therapist for more than 20 years. She is a treatment development researcher who conducts experimental and intervention studies focused on understanding and treating sleep and circadian problems, severe mental illness, and behavior change processes. More recently, she has expanded her focus to the science of dissemination and implementation. Dr. Harvey has had the honor of participating in the Training Institute for Dissemination and Implementation Research in Health, hosted by the National Cancer Institute. She has published more than 250 peer-reviewed papers and chapters and authored 3 books. Her team's research is funded by the National Institute of Mental Health and the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. Congratulations, Dr. Harvey.
Good morning, colleagues. I want to express my sincerest gratitude to the Sleep Research Society for this award. The SRS is my science home, and the Society does incredible work nationally and internationally. So this is truly an honor, and I'm deeply humbled. I am also grateful to Dr. Candice Alfano for insisting on nominating me. I would like to thank a couple of other people for their support and friendship and collaboration along the way, particularly Dan Bicey, Colin E, Jack Edinger, Kenny Lickstein, Charles Morin, and Michael Perlis, who became informal mentors as I entered the field some time ago now. And it was actually Charles Morin who got me into the field. As a graduate student in Sydney, Australia, I travelled across to Canada, and I just happened to catch an early career award address that Charles was giving at the conference. And I just thought, that's what I want to work on. So thank you, Charles, for introducing me to this field. Thanks also to Lisa Meltzer, Wendy Troxell, Matt Walker, and Candice Alfano, whose research inspires me and who are dear friends who have been so generous, fun, and supportive. And finally, a huge note of gratitude to the talented and passionate students and postdocs I have the good fortune of working with. In particular, Lauren Asanow, Mike Dolson, Lulu Dong, Nikki Gumport, Laurel Sarfan, Adrian Shona, Kate Kaplan, Jen Kennedy. I know I've probably accidentally forgotten some people. And thanks to you all. I hope you have a terrific conference, and I hope our paths cross in person before too long and when it's safe to do so. Thanks.
Congratulations to all of this year's award recipients. Thank you for advancing sleep and circadian science.